Back once again to West High School, just moments away from the start of this ball game. The Wildcats huddling across the field, wearing their all gray pants tonight. They're wearing their white jerseys with cardinal numerals. The West High Rebels wearing their white pants, blue jerseys, white and red trim. The PA is very, very close to us, Alex Myers, but these are pretty non-sensitive microphones, but it is very loud.
If they want a shouting match, they're at the right place, Dave. I tend to sort of yell into the microphone, but tonight that's going to come in handy.
Wildcats will be kicking from right to left here. It'll be Brady Hudson to do the honors as we're about to get underway here from West High School. Oak Ridge has more fans here than do the home team West High Rebels, which is not unusual.
Yeah, they got Xavier Davis, DeMarcus Nelson back deep to receive. Davis is the deep man as Hudson gets set for the kick.
And here it is. The game is underway. It's high end over end. Kick's going to be fielded at the 8 to the 10-yard line, to the 15-yard line. The Wildcats, K1 Stacy Wright tries to hem him in. He cannot. He's going to break a tackle, move the ball across the 30, where he's tackled by Shamar Smith and K1 Stacy Wright. And we're about to have the West High Rebel offense coming onto the field. You've got the starters on defense for the West High, or the Oak Ridge Wildcats.
And on the defensive line, it's number 10, Jackson Adams, a sophomore, getting the start tonight. Matthew Calhoun, Samuel Hensley, and Darius Stewart on the defensive line. In the backfield, defensive backs, I should say, Isaiah Johnson, Kyrese Pendergrass, and Jack Replogle, along with Herbert Booker, will get the linebackers after this play.
First down, 10 yards to go. The Rebels moving left to right, starting this drive at their own 32-yard line. Handoff to the back. He's hit, blasted, dropped behind the line of scrimmage. The Wildcats, great penetration. Matthew Calhoun, Shamar Smith, along with Hensley and Darius Stewart. It'll be a loss in the play of 3. It'll be second down and about 13 yards to go.
And for finishing out the starting lineups on the defensive side of the ball, we'll go to the linebackers, where it's Jacob Adams, along with Jeremy Mitchell and Shamar Smith, veterans back there for the Wildcats.
Officially, they're going to say a loss of a yard. Second down, 11 yards to go, just underway from West. 11-19 to play here in the first quarter. Shotgun for the quarterback. 2 receivers split to the left. He's going to hand it to the back, trying to get to the corner, and he's going to be tripped up by Jack Replogle, finished off by Jacob Adams at the 33-yard line. Might have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage and maybe a half a yard beyond. It's going to be third down, 10 yards to go. One thing, Alex, Coach Gaddis has said, West's offense has struggled. Although the last couple of weeks against Carnes and Halls, they've been able to put some points on the board. But Carnes and Halls, nothing against them, not the same kind of defense that Oak Ridge will have tonight.
That's no disrespect at all, but it's sort of like UT going into Florida in a couple weeks. This past couple weeks is sort of to tune things up, and I think West has done a good job. Credit them for doing that.
Quarterback back to pass. Here comes Matthew Calhoun. They're going to do a screen pass. It's going to be caught. Jack Replogle grabs him, and then he's dropped by Darius Stewart at the 35-yard line. Great awareness by Oak Ridge. They set up the screen. Matthew came charging in there. He dumped it off, but the Wildcats did not fall for it, and it'll be fourth down.
2 plays in a row, Jack Replogle has come up from that safety spot to make the tackle, and penetration early on that the second down play, and then again on the third down play. And safety is not a position where you can play tentative or play scared. Replogle certainly the opposite of that, as he comes in headhunting every single play on the defensive side.
Kyrese Pendergrass deep for the Wildcats. They'll be punting from left to right. Fourth down, 7 yards to go. Good snap. Punt is away. It's high, very short. Very, very short. Kyrese calls for a fair catch. It bounces off a West player. That punt didn't go any more than 20 yards, maybe. It went straight up in the air. Be great field position for the Wildcats. I thought originally that Kyrese was going to come up and catch it, but he was in such heavy traffic there. It's probably wise that he didn't. I was more concerned that it was going to hit a Wildcat player.
Yeah, exactly. At that point, it's that short. No need to try to go save 5 yards and risk it, potentially touching the ball incidentally and turning the ball back over. Gets a good West roll, but still the Wildcats in great starting field position. It'll be 1st and 10 Oak Ridge from the 40-yard line. 10-17 to go in the first quarter as the Wildcats take over.
Herbert Booker at quarterback. The Wildcats have in the backfield Tyrell Romano and Jordan Graham. Single receiver split to the left. We have 2 to the right. 4-man front will set the offensive line for you in a moment. Romano comes in motion. It's Herbert Booker moving the ball to the 40-yard line and beyond to the 42. It's a gain of about a yard or so.
Preston Turner getting some early action at wideout. Is getting, I think it's probably his first start as a Wildcat. He's a basketball player, a football player, and throwing a nice block downfield. Shout out to him getting the start tonight.
The left tackle is Robert Hill. The left guard is Eric Herrera. The center is Tyler Galloway. Is there Franquez and Jacob Kesterson are on the right side of the line. Gain of 2, second down, 8 yards to go. The Wildcats at their own 42. Herbert Booker rolls to his right, might want to run it, and he's going to be dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Look down the field, and that's one thing we've talked about. If you remember the 2 ball games a year ago with West, their defense is stout, very, very solid, great coverage on the receivers. Herbert had no place to go with the ball.
You never want your quarterback to take a hit 1 or 2 yards downfield, and that's what happened. But I actually think it was a really good decision by Herbert, because outside of throwing the ball away, that was the best thing that could have happened. There was nobody open. If he would have forced it, West is athletic enough and fast enough on the defensive side of the ball. They could have made a play on that one wisely. He didn't try to squeeze it in there.
Third down, 8 yards to go. 2 receivers to the left and to the right. Herbert, quick pass is high. It's caught by Jordan Graham, but he's going to be buried after a gain of only about 3 yards. It's going to be 4th down and 5. The Wildcats did get the ball up to the 45-yard line, and Kyrese is going to have to come into the game and punt the ball away. Already a prime example of the great defense that West plays.
It is, and Oak Ridge just running some short routes there, nothing really too deep. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get the first down, but, you know, in a game like this where you've got 2 really good defense, sometimes the punt is a really good offensive play. As long as you're not turning the ball over, if you can keep this side of the field flipped, and what I mean by that is after this, you can get a good punt right here, get West backed up on in their own red zone, then you could potentially turn this into a field position battle. Right now you're winning that. It's going to help you out.
4th and 5. Here's a kick. It's partially blocked, and it's going to take a good West bounce. It's going to roll at the 46-yard line, and that is where West will take over. They sent in 9 guys to rush, and one of them came around the left side and blocked the punt. So great field position for the West Rebels in a scoreless ball game.
Didn't see the guy who got a hand on it, but it was a net gain of about 2 yards on that punt. You know, they're going to end up taking over inside of Oak Ridge Wildcat territory. They'll start on the Wildcat 46, 1st and 10 for the Rebels. And David, if I'm West right here, I'm going to take a shot, be aggressive.
From the 46-yard line of Oak Ridge, 1st down, 10 yards to go. Handoff to the back. Matthew Calhoun grabs him and drops him behind the line. Matthew Calhoun, coming off of an excellent game, grabbed him immediately, and it'll be a loss of a yard on the play. 2nd down, 11 yards to go, 8:06 to play first quarter. Scoreless ball game, Oak Ridge and the West Rebels, the 8th time the 2 teams have played.
5'11", 175 pounds is Jawan Moore, the quarterback for the Rebels. And the Wildcats, especially guys like Jackson Adams, the taller Wildcat linemen, it'll be important for them to get their hands up as they rush the quarterback all night, because he's not a very tall guy back there. Block those passing lanes.
From the 47-yard line, back to pass, rolls, dumps it in the flat, pass is incomplete. Gave a little space there. The coverage was by Jacob Adams and Isaiah Johnson, just over the top of the receiver, number 5. It'll be 3rd down and 11 yards to go.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been enough for a first down, but certainly would have set the Rebels up in a 3rd and much more manageable. Instead, it's an incompletion, and it'll be 3rd and 11 here. And if you're West, if you trust your punter, if you don't get this, I think you try to pin Oak Ridge back. But, you know, depending on their punting situation, it's, you know, potentially a 4-down territory situation. You just have to see. A lot of it probably has to do on what happens right here.
3rd down, 11 yards to go from the 47-yard line. They're moving left to right. If you just tuned in, we have a scoreless game. Back to pass once again. Quarterback running. Wants to dump it in the flat. High pass is incomplete. Guy was open. Spinning on the for the Wildcats was Isaiah Johnson. That would have been a first down right there, but he threw it over the top. It's 4th down, and they will punt.
That's 2 that Moore's missed, and to me, both of those he's sort of tried to aim in there. What I mean by that, he's not really completing a throwing motion. He's kind of half shot putting it out there, and it's just not going to be very accurate doing that. You got to trust your arm. To punt for the Rebels will be number 89, Sebastian Latour. He's a junior, 5'10", 155-pound place kicker and punter. Pendergrass back deep for the Wildcats.
Standing back at his own 20-yard line, Bryson Brown doing camera work along with Ben Baker, James Branson, Alex Forax, another short punt, angling over towards the Oak Ridge sideline. Bounces and will go out of bounds at around the 28-yard line of Oak Ridge, and that's where the Wildcats will have it. 1st down, 10 yards to go.
David, my math may not be exactly accurate here, but we've had 3 punts in this game, and I'd say the net yardage of all 3 punts together is got to be under 30 yards.
We'll find out at halftime from Mark and Shauna Hayes. They'll be doing our stats, but you're exactly right. As the Wildcat offense is on the field for their 2nd possession, that is the Oak Ridge band playing across the way. Great contingent of Oak Ridge fans here. And as I mentioned, probably more Oak Ridge fans than maybe West fans here. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Herbert Booker, senior quarterback, coming off of 4 really fine games. Going to hand it off to his running back. And that'll be Oak Ridge's, I guess, Pendergrass moving the ball right at the line of scrimmage. There's just no place to go. Couldn't get around the edge. One of the few teams that will play that actually has as much speed as us.
Yeah, and you could show it on that play. We were trying to go east and west, and Kyrese is probably the fastest player on the field against any team we play, but that time even he couldn't get outside. His blockers couldn't get outside fast enough and seal the edge, and instead he just tried to turn it up and get what he could. No gain on the play, though. 2nd and 10 for Oak Ridge.
Jonathan Stewart and Pendergrass split to the right. The Wildcats have one lone running back, 2 receivers to the left. 2nd down, 10 yards to go. The ball at their own 27-yard line. Herbert Booker at quarterback. High snap, pumps once, rolls to his right. Might have some running room this time. Looks to Jonathan Stewart, dumps it to Pendergrass. Incomplete. Initially, I think Kyrese probably thought the ball was going to go to Jonathan Stewart, and he kind of slowed up just a bit. Might have been able to catch that. It wasn't a bad pass by any stretch, but it is incomplete.
Yeah, it was kind of in no man's land. It was sort of in between the 2 receivers, as you mentioned, Dave. And I think if Pendergrass knew it was going to be catchable by him, he would have kept running it, because if he kept running, he would have been able to get to it. But unfortunately, sort of a miscommunication there brings up 3rd and 10 for Oak Ridge.
6:30 to play first quarter. We have a scoreless ball game. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right once again. Herbert back to pass. Quick pass. This time it's intercepted. Intercepted at the 48-yard line. It was intended for Kyrese Pendergrass. The defensive back went down and got it right off the turf. Nice play for the West High Rebels.
It was, and you know, another miscommunication, David. The receiver wasn't looking. It was Pendergrass who was intended, and I don't know if Kyrese thought he was going to run a deeper route or if Herbert thought the route was supposed to be delivered timing-wise at an earlier time. Regardless, they weren't on the same page. The good part about that is it's about a 20 yards downfield when the ball was intercepted. And that's about 18 yards longer than the first punt, so not the worst thing to happen. West taking over a couple yards further away from the end zone than they did last drive.
At the Oak Ridge 48, handoff to the back once again. Calhoun and Jacob Adams hit him once again. Finished off as well by Jack Replogle. Not a whole lot of running room for the West High Rebels.
And I wonder if they realize that Oak Ridge has got the speed advantage defensively, because they haven't tried to run it outside at all. Every run play has been between the tackles, and quite frankly, that hadn't worked out for them. Another loss right there. Guys like Calhoun, Jacob Adams in there, Shamar Smith, Darius Stewart, all over the place, the interior defenders for Oak Ridge.
2nd down, 11 yards to go. The loss back to the Wildcat 49. West on their 3rd possession here. 5:46 to play first quarter. Fast-moving quarter, scoreless ball game. Quarterback will roll to his right, runs it up the field. Flags are down. Wildcats Replogle trying to drop him. He's going to be driven out of bounds by Replogle and Isaiah Johnson. Let's see if we have a hold on the Rebels, and if that's the case, that'll cost some yardage here. Flag went down really quick right in the interior of the line, and I think it's going to go against West.
I see the referee there signaling the holding, and that's exactly what it's going to be. So that gain, which would have put them a yard away from a first down, is going to be totally negated right here, and they're going to back up the Rebels. And I'm guessing it will stay 2nd down. That's what it was before. So,
yeah,
big loss for West.
I don't know if we really need to talk here, Alex. The PA, the speaker is probably 3 feet from me, and he is loud.
He absolutely is. And the microphones are hot tonight, Dave. 5:34 to go. And finally, we've got a really nice weather night. No rain. We thought we were going to have a scare earlier. It was a little bit dark, but
that reminded me of Hardin Valley for a few moments.
For a moment, but thank goodness we didn't have the issues that we had that night.
The ball's at the 38-yard line. It'll be 2nd down, 24 yards to go for the West Rebels. 5:34 to play first quarter, scoreless game. Back to pass once again. It's going to go deep down the middle of the field to a wide open man, and he's got it for a touchdown. Touchdown, West High Rebels. A high pass right down the middle of the field. Isaiah Johnson defending, but the receiver got behind him, and it was easy 6 points for the Rebels.
It absolutely was. Johnson was the nearest defender, and he sort of tripped as he was diving for the ball. Unfortunately for the Wildcats, he did not come up with the ball, and so West has a wide open touchdown. It's more to Boast. Sedarius Boast, wide open, deep for the Rebels, and they get some on the board first. It's 6-0 your score, the extra point pending.
5 minutes, 24 seconds to play first quarter. 6-0, as Alex mentioned. They've got a big numbered guy about to kick, number 63. Sideline warning against the West High Rebels.
It'll be Mark Schurer. Mark Schurer, the senior, to kick for West. Looks like a soccer guy to me.
As we get ready for them, as the official comes over to tell Coach Gaddis exactly what the call was. I think it was a sideline warning against the Rebels. And now I don't know Coach Gaddis, I don't know if they received the same one, but I think maybe he just wanted clarification on that as they attempt the extra point. There was a flag. It wasn't a flag. It was just a warning, and they will go for the extra point. He is a left-footed kicker here, and here's the snap. It's high, lots of pressure. The kick is on its way. It's up, and it is good. 7-0 our score. West on top of Oak Ridge. We'll be back with the kickoff in 60 seconds. That's the Oak Ridge High School Band you might be listening to on FM 92.7, FM 94.7, prepradio.com. There was a flag did go down on that play, and they did penalize West, so they'll be kicking off from the 25-yard line. So Oak Ridge should get pretty good field position. Last year, Oak Ridge beat West 23-13 and 16-6 in very low-scoring ball games. Can't afford to fall behind this team as this kick is much better. High end over end kick, fielded by Jordan Graham at the 15, to the 20, to the 25, to the 30-yard line. He is tackled hard at that point by the Rebels, and that is where Oak Ridge will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball at their own 30-yard line. 7-0. West on top of Oak Ridge. 5:18 to play, first quarter.
Oak Ridge kind of got, well, you should be honest, it almost feels like you got punched in the mouth there, David. They come out quickly. It was a slow-paced game for the first couple drives, and then all of a sudden on that long third down play, boom, next thing you know, you blink, and West is up 7-0. So Oak Ridge has to respond here. Even if you don't score, you got to give your defense a rest for a second. You got to move the ball a little bit and give yourself some confidence as we go throughout this first quarter and into the second quarter here in a couple of moments. Herbert Booker's got to get something going.
Officially from the 31, Herbert's going to roll to his right again, and he's going to be sacked. 10-yard loss back at the 20-yard line. Very few teams that we have played to this point have what I said earlier, the kind of speed that Oak Ridge has. Herbert just couldn't get away from him.
Yeah, it's just tough play. Herbert's, like you said, he's very athletic, and he put a stutter move on the defensive end that time, or the linebacker, excuse me, and it didn't work. And that's not often that's the case. So it's going to back Oak Ridge up to second and nearly 20 yards here.
Officially at the nose of the ball is at the 20-yard line. West late getting a guy on the field here. Let's see if they have to burn one of their timeouts. Taking a lot of time here. 4:40 to play here in the first quarter. 7-0 is our score. West on top. Oak Ridge has it second down, 21 yards to go. Three receivers split to the left side. Man comes in motion. That's Tyrell Romano. Herbert's going to run it. Herbert at the 25. Herbert to the 30-yard line, back to the original line of scrimmage, just beyond, or just before that. It'll bring up third down. As they officially say, his knee went down at the 29-yard line, so it's going to be third down and 12 yards to go. 4:09 to play first quarter, 3rd and 12 Oak Ridge.
You got to be careful here, David. Needing 12 to go here to get the first down against a very good defense, a very fast defense. Can't make a mistake here. If you throw the ball away, it's not the worst thing in the world. Obviously, you want to go for the first down, but if you can't get it, you cannot turn the ball over.
Herbert Booker looks over the front set by them. Here comes pressure. Herbert has time to throw it. There's a man. Jordan Graham can't make the catch. Kind of stopped. Maybe got bumped at around the 50-yard line. Looked back, and the pass was just over his shoulder. Not a bad pass, really. Just a little bit beyond Jordan's reach, and it's fourth down again.
It was a very pretty pass, just like you mentioned. Just a couple of yards overthrown. And if you overthrow Jordan Graham, that you know you've got an arm, because Graham is fast. He just wasn't quite fast enough to get to that one. And unfortunately, the Wildcats will be forced to punt. Pendergrass to punt. Deep for the Rebels, standing with his heels at the 30, we'll say the 35-yard line. And that'll be number 17, Chris Harvey, the senior.
Let's see if the Wildcats can protect Kyrese a little bit better. Here's a snap, the punt, tie. Wobbly knuckle kick is going to be fielded by the Rebels right at their own 41-yard line, and that is where the Rebels will have it. First down, 10 yards to go. 7-0 West, and a beautiful night here from West High School. Nice breeze here. By far the coolest night we've had.
And it's not exactly cool, but when you compare it to what it felt like about 2 hours ago, David, this is chilly, and I love it.
Back on the field comes the offense for the Rebels. They're moving left to right. 3:33 to play, first quarter. Four-man front for the Wildcats here. Once again, there's the play. He's halted. And let's check the call. They're going to say what? Official comes over to say, didn't see anybody move on either line unless Oak Ridge lined up in the neutral zone. I guess that is the case. I guess it's going to be a 5-yard step off offsides against the Wildcats. If it happened, it might have been on the right side of the line, but I honestly did not see it.
Yeah, Oak Ridge's defense hasn't really just been beat like that all year. So I'm interested to see here, watching our defensive backs to see if they start playing off a little bit, if they get a little bit tentative, and hopefully that's not the case, but that'll be something to keep an eye on.
First down, 5 yards to go. Once again, the quarterback's going to hand it to the back, tries to get outside, and he is going to be dropped. Shamar Smith along with Jeremy Mitchell and Jacob Adams. Mathers carries the ball. Not a whole lot of yardage there. It's going to be a no gain at all, maybe a half a yard. Second down and 5 yards to go facing West. 3:16 to play first quarter in a 7-0 ball game.
Yeah, 3:13 to go here. It's been a very fast-paced quarter. The action's been fast and not a lot of incomplete passes, a lot of runs and a lot of sacks and what have you, not a lot of stoppage of clock, and this one's run fast so far. West on the near hash now at their own 46-yard line, 2nd and 5.
Moving left to right as we look from the west sideline here on their home side. Once again, the handoff's going to go to the back, and once again, he is hit. This time, Jacob Adams, one other Wildcat, and they drop him right at the line of scrimmage. Jacob grabbed him, got a little help from his friends, and it'll be third down facing the Rebels.
It's not going to happen. Mathers is a good-looking athlete, but Isaiah Mathers is not going to be able to run the ball up the middle of this Oak Ridge defense tonight. It doesn't appear. The only time he's really had any success was play before last when he picked up about 4 or 5 yards, and it was because he was running out to the side. Up the middle, they have had absolutely no success. Jacob Adams has played a stellar game so far. Third
down, 5 yards to go, coming off of a 16-tackle game last week against Farragut. Lots of pressure on Mathers. He is hit, fires a pass. It's going to be complete. I hesitated because it went between 2 or 3 defenders and 2 or 3 receivers, and it was actually caught at the 42-yard line for a first down.
Yeah, easy first down that time right there. Good catch, though, by West's Michael Webb. Not a tall guy out there, but used his athletic ability to jump up and catch that ball, hang on, even though there was some contact. It'll be first down Rebels, and here again for the third time in this first quarter, the third time so far, Oak Ridge's defense has been put in a position where they are on their half of the field. West in Oak Ridge territory now on the Wildcat 42-yard line.
7-0 West in the lead, 1:42 to play. Quarterback rolls to his right, tries to get outside, in a lot of trouble. He is going to be sacked at the 49-yard line. The Wildcats came in quickly. Rep Logal and a couple others. Big loss on the play.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. He's not going to be able to outrun the Wildcats east to west. He's got some wheels, and he's going to be able to hurt you a little bit, but he's not going to tear you up downfield. And honestly, David, looked like it was a design quarterback run to the left as soon as the ball was snapped, he rolled out that way, but I didn't really see a receiver on that half of the field. The linemen started rolling out sort of going east to west as well to try to lead away. So I think it was probably a design run, just nowhere to go. Great job by the cornerback and Rep Logal also coming up to prevent him from going outside.
Second down, 19 yards to go. They're going to pass once again. Here comes a little screen in the middle of the field. It's going to be incomplete. Once again, they allowed the Oak Ridge lineman to penetrate, and he dumped it off, but this time there was nobody there. It's going to be third down, 19 yards to go facing West.
And I'm telling you, David, they call him 5'11", and he may be 5'10". He's not a big guy back there, and he's having to lob a lot of these balls up. And if you lob the balls up enough, an Oak Ridge defender is either going to get their hands on it or they're going to end up picking the ball off at some point tonight. So keep an eye out for that, because against this Wildcat defense that's so fast, you've got to get the balls, you've got to throw them on the line.
45.8 seconds to play. Handoff goes to number 5, and Jacob Adams once again there to make the stop. No gain. And whistles blow. He got it up to the 50-yard line, but it's again fourth down, and that might be the final play here in the first quarter. West likes a quick game. They rely on their defense for the most part, although their offense has not looked that badly on a couple of pass plays. That is going to be the end of the first quarter. Our score is 7-0 with the Wildcats of Oak Ridge currently trailing the West High Rebels. And let's see if they actually get this punt off. I was going to go ahead and take the break, but I'm kind of surprised they're even going to try. There's about 2 seconds in the difference between the play clock, and they're not. So the quarter has come to a close. We're at West High School here on FM 92.7, FM 94.7. We'll be back with the second quarter. 7-0 our score, back in 60 seconds. David Clary back here along with Alex Myers. Bryson Brown, James Branson, Alex Waraxa. Here's the punt by West. It's high. Much better kick this time. Fair catch is signaled for and made by Kyrese Pendergrass back at the 17-yard line, and that is where Oak Ridge will have it. First down and 10 yards to go. Got to get the offense rolling here, Alex.
They do, and you know, honestly, I think the possession started right there when he caught the ball, and that sounds obvious, but here's the deal. He fair caught that at, we'll call it the 18-yard line. And if he doesn't, there was about 5 Rebels there, and the ball was on a trajectory. The way the ball was going to land, it had turned over and was likely going to take a West bounce. So Oak Ridge, if he doesn't fair catch that and instead, you know, kind of lazy or hesitant and lets the ball roll, Oak Ridge might be inside their own 5 right now. Herbert Booker not in the game at the moment. New quarterback Mitchell Gibbons into the ball game for Oak Ridge.
Mitchell threw the ball pretty well in the Campbell County ball game, had some success there, and he is a sophomore. And he has 3 receivers split to the left, and he's going to hand it off to the back, and big hit right at the line, and not a whole lot of yardage there for Jordan Graham. It's going to, or that's actually number 6, Trey Jackson in the ball game. Number 6, Shelton there on the stop. No gain on the play. Second down, 10 yards to go.
I see Herbert on the far sideline, on the Oak Ridge sideline. He just put his helmet back on, so that's certainly, you would think, a good sign. 11:30 to go here in the second quarter. Oak Ridge trying to get something started. Nothing really so far. Mitchell Gibbons in at quarterback for the moment. It'll be 2nd and 10 for Oak Ridge.
11:20 to play first half. 7-0 West in the lead. Ball is at the 18-yard line. Oak Ridge moving left to right here in the second quarter. Quick pass caught Jonathan Stewart. Beautiful pass. Jonathan, the sophomore to sophomore. It's 1st and 10 Wildcats.
Yeah, beautiful pass right there. Let him in stride, and it was such a good pass that Stewart's momentum got him a few extra yards, and if he wasn't tripped up, he would have had a chance to break that one, but a shoestring tackle saves the day for West. It's a first down and 10 Oak Ridge. That's a 10 bank of Oak Ridge. First down for the Wildcats, and Oak Ridge will have it at their 34-yard line.
10:54 to play. Oak Ridge looking over to the sideline. Brian Wyatt is the offensive coordinator of the Wildcats. That is the first down for the Wildcats in this one. At the 34, as Alex mentioned, single running back. Jackson, another quick pass is going to be caught. Jordan Graham that goes down, either slipped or I don't think contact took him down. He went down at the 30. It's a loss of 3.
Yeah, not a good play. You know, for Oak Ridge, I think there's one of 2 ways you can do this. You can try to go downfield and get some yardage here, or you can try to get to your playmakers, and I think that's what I'd try to do. Get your playmakers out in space, and that's what Oak Ridge obviously was trying to do with Graham right there. I'd try to find Jeremy Mitchell, Kyrese Pendergrass, a couple of the guys that's got some real speed out here along with Jordan Graham. Try to get them the ball. If they can make one guy miss, a lot of times they can make a lot happen.
10 minutes to play in the first half. Second down, 13 yards to go. Mitchell Gibbons at quarterback, sophomore. 2 receivers to his left and to his right. Has time to pass. Dumps it to Kyrese Pendergrass. Breaks the tackle. Tries to get up the sideline. Moves the ball to the 30 and pushed out of bounds at the 31. It's going to be no gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 12 yards to go. Just no place to go. They're so quick on defense.
They are, and this is how quick they are. Gibbons pump faked it, had Jeremy Mitchell going deep. They faked the screen at first to Pendergrass on the right side, had Jeremy Mitchell streaking deep. He was open for a second, but by the time he would have been able to get the ball over, I think the safety would have been over, which forced Mitchell then to go back to his original route, which was the guy he pump faked to, Kyrese Pendergrass in the flats, and by that point the linebacker had got there, just nowhere to run.
9:48 to play first half. The Wildcats have only 1 first down here in the first half. Gibbons a quarterback, has some time. Fires it. Pass is going to be caught.
That's not going to work.
Once again, Kyrese Pendergrass blasted behind the line of scrimmage.
It's just not going to work. You're going to have to start to get some stuff going downfield because those routes are taking way too long to develop. It has taken so long, and against a lot of teams that might work. But the longer these routes take to develop, the longer the West Rebel defenders, who are very fast, as we mentioned time and time again, the longer they have to get over there and cover it. So that's not going to work. You're going to have to hit them with quick hitters.
Kyrese Pendergrass once again is going to punt the ball away for the Wildcats. It's 4th down, 10 yards to go. He's standing back at around the 30-yard line. They've blocked one already. There's a low snap. Gets the punt away. It's an end-over-end wobbly kick. It's going to take a bounce up the field, and it's going to be picked up by West, and the Wildcats make the tackle at the 42-yard line. Jacob Adams, Kwan Stacy Wright there for the stop. The ball was bounced in nowhere around. The Wildcats weren't even around it, and the return man saw it bounce, and he came up and gained about 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah, you got to be aware of your surroundings, know where the ball is, not just where the West defenders are. Thankfully, the Wildcats weren't hurt too much by that. Just a couple extra yards surrendered. It'll be 1st and 10 for West at their own 41-yard line. And Oak Ridge defense sort of put on the ropes. Again, they've got to have another stop. You got to have a hold. Really what this offense needs to have a spark is they need a turnover. Dave.
Right. They've been winning the turnover battle in every ball game to this point. West has it first down, 10 yards to go at their own 41-yard line. Definitely the field position battle won by West. The quarterback rolling to his right, turns it up the field, and this time has close to first down yardage, and then a flag goes down right at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know what this one is. It could be some sort of an offensive penalty downfield, and that's exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be a block in the back on West late. I don't think that was a necessary block, Dave. He almost had the first down where the flag was thrown.
So they're stepping the yardage off. We appreciate you listening to our broadcast wherever you might be on FM 92.7, FM 94.7. We're also on prepradio.com, Oak Ridge Schools, television channel 15. You might have heard the PA guy say, and Alex said earlier, a block in the back. It's 10 yards back to the 39-yard line where it'll be first down and 12 yards to go.
So they really benefit right there because that penalty is not from the spot of the ball. It was from the spot of the foul. And so instead of being first and 20, the 10-yard penalty was almost a first down. It was an 8-yard gain at the point when the flag was thrown. So they're going to mark it back 10 yards from that spot, meaning they only really lost 2 yards on that play. It'll be first down again.
7-0 our score. West in the lead. 8:51 to play first half. Quarterback back to pass again. Fires it down the way to a man who's open, who can't make the catch, though. Jeremy Mitchell had the coverage, but that pass should have been caught, and that would have been all the way at the 35-yard line. Incomplete. Second down, 12.
Yeah, I thought Jeremy Mitchell was going to be able to make a play on it. The throw actually went further than I thought it would be. Nice throw by Moore there. Mitchell just not quite in position. He was a little on the short side of it. Ball sailed over his head. Should have been caught, like you said, for a first down. Luckily for the Wildcats, it was dropped.
Ball's at the West 39-yard line. Clock is stopped. 8:44 to play here in the second quarter. Beautiful night here at West. Next week we'll be up in Sevier County as the Wildcats take on the Sevier County Smoky Bears. Second down, 12 yards to go from the West 39-yard line. Going to hand it off to the back, and he stumbles for boom. He's blasted, but he breaks the tackle, still goes forward and moves the ball to the 45-yard line.
Here's what I don't like, David. It's a dangerous play because I used to play running back and I used to play linebacker, growing up, and so I've been on both sides of this equation. As a defender, you are not allowed to duck your head, and it's targeting. But on offense, the running back, there's no penalty for them ducking their head, and that's a dangerous play, and it looks good on a highlight reel because he just ran a guy over, but it's a dangerous play, Dave. To see him duck his head and go head first into a defender twice in the same play, it's scary, David. You got to lower your shoulder, yes, but you got to keep your head up.
Third down, 6 yards to go. The ball's at the 45-yard line. 8 minutes to play. First half, West on top, 7-0. Three receivers to the right once again. Back to pass. No pressure. Quarterback steps up. Fires a pass. It's incomplete. Off the fingertips of the intended receiver. Defending was Jack Replogle and Isaiah Johnson. It's fourth down again, and once again, they'll be punting. It's been a battle of field position, and we haven't had it.
No, we haven't. So, a couple ththings could go right here. You could get a shanked punt, which is showing the ability West has to do that, or a good punt return right here by Kyrese. The punts have been high and short, which is not really what you want, and to be able to have a good return. But we'll see what Kyrese can do with this one if he gets a chance.
Standing back at around his own 25-yard line. Here's the punt. It's high. Much better punt. Kyrese is going to field it, fumble it, pick it up, and get buried at the 15-yard line. It'll be Oak Ridge taking over there. First down, 10 yards to go. So, that was a good punt that time by the punter. And the Wildcats have got to generate some offense here.
Hey, one thing I'm looking at, and West isn't an extremely tall team, but even on their special teams, they pretty much got their defensive starters out there, and they're making us look sort of small physically from a girth standpoint, muscularity from that sort of a standpoint. Their linebackers, their defensive backs, they just look thicker than we do, a lot of them.
First and 10, Wildcats.
First down, 10 yards to go. Oak Ridge, the ball's at the 15-yard line. Herbert Booker back in at quarterback. Two receivers to the left and to the right. In motion, Wildcats. Herbert Booker dumps it out of there and tries to get a block. Might be a block in the back. They're going to call it. I think Jordan Graham got a guy in the back, and they weren't going to gain it about 4 or 5 yards. it looked like for a moment that it was going to go, but West is so quick to the ball. It's so quick, and I've said that several times in this one, and it's going to be a penalty against Oak Ridge.
Yeah, Oak Ridge offensively, they're a little bit lackadaisical just walking around out there. I'm not talking about during the play, but after the play right now, hands on some hips. They're kind of moving slow, not the best body language. They almost look surprised because I think this is probably more so than Farragut. This is the fastest team they've played all year defensively, and their offense plays that they've been able just to kind of out-athlete people all year. They're not being able to make tonight.
Half the distance to the goal is the penalty yardage step back to the 9-yard line. 7.5 minutes to play second quarter. Sun's still up here, Alex, in the half. It's almost halftime here as the ball is at the 9-yard line. It'll be for the Wildcats first down and looks like 17 yards to go for a first. Oak Ridge and West have played 7 previous times. The Wildcats 7-0 all time against the Rebels. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left once again, 1 lone running back. Herbert's going to roll to his left, and he got a nearly face mask. They're going to call it. Herbert moves the ball across the 10 up to the 13-yard line. It is going to be a face mask against the Rebels.
There's 3 officials saw it. You and I saw it. Everybody within about an 8-mile radius saw that one. And that'll definitely help get Oak Ridge out of harm's way as far as being backed up a little bit, and we'll have to see exactly where they mark it off to. But certainly this will kind of hit Oak Ridge a spark, and on the road against a tough opponent like this, sometimes you got to have a break or two. This could be that break to kind of get them out from being backed up, Dave. They need a spark.
Penalty yardage will give Oak Ridge a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down automatically up to the 28-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. 7:04 to play second quarter. West in the lead. They scored on a long pass play. The only scoring we've seen, and
really that's the only real positive play, more than 10 yards or so that we've seen from either team all game.
Ball's at the 28-yard line. The officials are set. The West band is heading out of the bleachers. We're on the west side. You might be able to tell by the loudness of their crowd. First and 10. In motion comes one of the Wildcat backs. Here's the pitch. The Wildcats need to block a little bit better. Jordan Graham tries to get the corner, and he got hit out of bounds. It hit out of bounds, a few feet out of bounds. I guess they're not going to call it. It's a loss of 3 on the play. The Wildcats just cannot get to the corner. And Jordan's asking the official, did he not hit me out of bounds? Obviously not in the official's view.
Yeah, in his view, but I'm telling you right now, he got hit out of bounds. It wasn't egregious. I mean, he didn't get knocked to the ground, but definitely a little bit unnecessary. Oak Ridge, the play was set up well. 2 blockers out on 1 man, and the man just fought through the blockers. And the blockers, you got to block that guy. I know that guy's bigger than you, maybe stronger, maybe a senior, and you're not. But you got 2 guys on 1 blocker, David, or 2 guys to block 1 guy. In order to have a successful play, you got to get it done.
Second down, 12 yards to go. Here's Herbert handing it off. No place to go, right up the middle. Wildcats, nothing at all getting their offense. Trey Jackson on the carry. It's going to be third down, 12 yards to go. 6:27 to play, and their defense is as good as billed.
Yeah, they are good as good as advertised, potentially better so far. You see who you got out there at wideout. You got Graham, you got Turner, and you got Mitchell. For me, if you're passing this ball, I'm going to Mitchell. He's your most experienced wideout out there, other than Graham, and he's your biggest target too. He's lined up against the tallest defender, but to me, I'm going to try to target number 1 right here.
Jaquez Johnson comes in motion. Herbert's in trouble. Looks down the field. Needs to get it away. Is going to be sacked at the 23-yard line. Somebody came around the left side and just came in there almost untouched there, and the Wildcats are be forced to punt again.
Yeah, Herbert's had a tendency tonight to get out of the pocket very quickly, and I understand why, because there's pressure there, but sometimes you almost hurt yourself getting out of the pocket because it forces things to break down a little bit early, and that time, though, almost as much of a coverage sack as anything because there was really nobody open downfield.
Fourth down, 16 yards to go now, as Kyrese Pendergrass has probably punted more in this game than he's punted in the previous 3. Here comes pressure. Kick is blocked. Blocked again, fielded by the Rebels, and they've moved the ball to the 17-yard line. Just too much pressure coming in there, and Nelson blocks it, and they've got it first down, 10 yards to go. The ball is going to be at the 17-yard line of the Wildcats.
You've got to block better than that. I mean, Coach Gaddis preaches special teams. This whole coaching staff does. They know the importance of it, but so far it's not shown. They got 2 blocks punted. I'm not sure if that was from the same side or from a different side, but regardless, you just can't afford to do that, particularly this far back in your own territory, because now West has it. If they get a first down, they're inside the 10-yard line.
5:12 to play first half. The Rebels already lead the Wildcats 7-0. Ball's at the Oak Ridge 17 once again. Wildcats need another stop on defense here. Quarterback's going to hand it to the back, and he is hit and dropped for a loss by Jacob Adams back at the 20-yard line. Jacob Adams continues to play great football. It's a loss on the play. Well, they dropped him at the 20. They put it down at the 19. It's going to be 2nd and 12.
And he plays with such a ferociousness in that, you know, it doesn't matter who's got the ball, where they are on the field. Jacob Adams is coming, and David, he knows one speed and one speed only, and that's 100 miles per hour. And it shows right there. He's getting into the backfield before the running back just about even has the ball.
2nd down, 12 yards to go. The ball at the Oak Ridge 19, 4:37 and counting. Second quarter, 7-0 is our score. Wildcats, watching them tick off about 6 seconds off the play clock, and West calls a timeout. 7-0 West. We'll be back in 60 seconds. James Branson, Alex Waraxa, Ben Baker, and Bryson Brown doing our camera work today. Brian Bennett back at the studios of FM 92.7. We've got 2nd down, 12 yards to go, facing West, moving right to left here, wearing blue jerseys, white and red. The Wildcats in their gray pants and white jerseys for the 19. Quarterback wants to pass. Pass is caught. Jeremy Mitchell and company make the stop at around the 13-yard line. It'll be for West. 3rd down and about 5 yards to go for a first.
Yeah, and down here, you know, a lot of times as a defense, when it's 3rd down, you say you want to keep everything in front of you. But this time, this far down in the field, I think you just got to be aggressive. If there's a chance you can jump a route as a defensive back, jump the route. If there's a chance you can go out and jump a screen pass as a linebacker, jump it. As if you're a defensive lineman, get in there, try to get a sack. You got to be aggressive down at this far down in your own territory.
Ball's at the 11-yard line. Wildcats showing blitz here. Quarterback looking at the play clock, down to 5. He gets the snap. Wildcats might have jumped off sides. Quarterback's going to run it. He's at the 3-yard line. Fumbles the football for a second, I thought. I guess not. It's going to be a 1st down inside the 5-yard line. Nothing fancy at all. Thought I heard whistles actually as the play started, and I thought maybe they're going to call something, but no penalty. It is a 1st and goal situation for West.
Yeah, it's 1st down West. They got just enough. Moore's come up a bit gimpy there. It looked like he fumbled it after he ran into the backside of his own lineman. That was downfield block, and what happened there is an option play like Oak Ridge runs out to the left. This time he faked the pitch. The defender for Oak Ridge went for the running back, left the quarterback just enough space to get that 1st down.
7-0 is our score, but they're inside the 5-yard line. 3:14 to play first half. 1st down, goal to go for the West Rebels. The ball's at the 4-yard line. Hand off to the running back, and he is hit at the 3 by Kyrese Pendergrass. It'll be 2nd down, goal to go for West.
Yeah, Mathers just absolutely lowering his helmet on every time he comes in contact. And, you know, it looks good when he's out here. He's been a tough runner, and it looks like he's a talented football player, but you know, you hate to see a head injury, and you got to keep your head up. You don't want to lead with your head as a running back or a defender.
2nd down, goal to go, as I mentioned. 2:40 and counting. 7-0 our score. Play clock down to 16, and West very content to let as much of it off the tick off as possible here.
It's a smart move.
2nd down goal. Quarterback to the running back. Lowers his head. He dives. Fumbles in the end zone. And Oak Ridge recovers it. Oak Ridge recovers it. But did they call a touchdown first? It looks like he threw the ball across the goal line. But the touchdown signal is made.
Well, now one official is waving his finger, which would show that it would be a touchback. But I guess they're going to stick with the original call. We had a couple different calls going at the same time, and they're going to finally, unfortunately for Oak Ridge, decide that it was a touchdown. Almost, you can't advance a fumble, and that's a tricky one right there near the goal line. It
is a touchdown. I apologize for that. Here comes the kick. It's on its way. It's up, and it is good. West leads 14-0. 2:20 to play first half. Back in 60 seconds.
Deep for Oak Ridge is number 8, Jordan Graham.
We're back to West High School. The news so far is not good if you're a Wildcat fan. The Rebels lead it by a score of 14-0. Their kicker just kicked it through the end zone, so that'll be a touchback. The Wildcats will get it 1st down, 10 yards to go at the 20. Wildcats here in the final 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Got to show they can move the ball. It'd be great to get points on the board, but just to move the ball. The Wildcats only have one 1st down that wasn't as a result of a penalty. And other than that, they've been a lot of losses. We'll have Mark's statistics at halftime. We'll get to those at halftime, and I'll be eager to hear that neither team has really dazzled on offense. 2 block punts, 1 short possession there helped them, obviously, as the Wildcats come to the line. First down, 10 yards to go. Ball at the 20. Handoff goes to Trey Jackson. He might have gotten a yard. Not much more than that, to the 21-yard line. Wildcats trying to establish some kind of running game, but just not much there.
Yeah, right now Oak Ridge is just kind of getting out physical, if you will, the line of scrimmage and so on and so forth. And if you're Oak Ridge, it's tricky right now, David, because you don't want to. If you try to go for some yards here and try to put some points on the board and pass the ball, but you throw some incompletions, you could give West the ball theoretically in good field position. A couple timeouts left with a minute or so to go. So I think Oak Ridge instead is electing to try to run the ball, run some clock out right here.
Minute 39 to play. Herbert is going to run the ball. He has the ball to the 30. That is a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down up to the 31. That time, good decision. Herbert just took it up the gut there. Minute 32 to play first half. 14-0 to score. A 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down.
And now you could try to pick up the pace if you wanted to. I don't know if the Wildcats do or not, because the ball, while it's being spotted, the clock does stop. But Wildcats still not in too big of a hurry to snap the ball right here.
Single running back is Trey Jackson. 2 receivers to the left. Kyrie's comes in motion. Herbert's going to be sacked. Herbert had no place to go. Just dropped for a loss of about 3 yards. Trying to roll out to his left. He's just not used to having anybody in on him that quickly.
No, they're breaking through the interior of the offensive line very, very fast. They're not only are they big and strong, David, they're fast up front as well. Oak Ridge just, they almost look a little bit surprised by how physical and how physically dominant the West is capable of being up front.
We're under a minute to play in the first half. 14-0 to score. The Wildcats in no hurry at all here. We're down to 16 seconds on the play clock, and here comes Herbert to the line. I think they're afraid they don't want West to get the ball back. We've had trouble enough moving the ball. It's second down, 13 yards to go. Herbert will pitch it out to the right side. Jordan Graham at the 30. Moves the ball to the 35. Breaks a tackle to the 40. Down the field. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We've got a touchdown. Jordan Graham takes it to the house. And the Wildcats are on the board with 22.9 seconds to play. A phenomenal run by Jordan Graham. He broke 1, 2, 3 tackles. Got to the sideline. Showed that explosive speed. And the Wildcats are on the board.
He kind of got turned around, got spun, and had to hurdle a guy. And as he was fighting through all of that, he finally found a seam, busted to the outside, and as soon as he got up to about the 45, 50-yard line, he got to the sideline. And from that point, it was a straightaway dead sprint. He's a track guy, and it shows, David, once he was there, he was off the races, and not a soul in Knoxville was going to catch him.
69-yard touchdown run. Here comes Malcody's extra point. It's up, and it is good. And just like that, 22.9 seconds. Oak Ridge trails 14-7. We'll be back with a Wildcat kickoff in 60 seconds.
Xavier Davis deep for the Rebels.
Welcome back once again to West High School. David Clary, Alex Myers, Oak Ridge on the board. 22.9 seconds to play. 14-7 is our score. A 69-yard touchdown run. Here's the kick by the Wildcats, angling to the sideline. Fielded by West at the 10, to the 15, 20. And then the Wildcats drop him at the 23-yard line. The way to get back in the ball game, a 69-yard run by Jordan Graham.
Yeah, and I think that gives you some momentum to build on, even though, you know, it was a big play. Going to half, if I'm Coach Gaddis, which thankfully for Oak Ridge fans I'm not, but if I was Coach Gaddis, I'm going in the halftime and going, look, guys, if we don't get a blocked kick, they don't score their touchdown because they started it within the Oak Ridge 20-yard line. And if they don't get beat on about a 60-yard pass, which hadn't happened all year, then they don't get their other touchdown. So if you do 2 big mess-ups by Oak Ridge, if you just alleviate those, they haven't actually been able to really move the ball on you at all tonight.
Here comes the handoff to the running back. He is stuck at the line of scrimmage, and that'll be the final play of the first half. So the Wildcats get a little momentum heading into the dressing room. They trail, though, by a score of 14-7. Alex, big play by Jordan Graham there at the end, just really giving Oak Ridge a little bit of bright light, a little momentum.
And you're right, and just like West, that wasn't really a drive by Oak Ridge, but Oak Ridge was able to get a couple first downs before that big play, and just like West had capitalized on big plays, the Wildcats were able to do so just before halftime, and boy, did they need that, David, because really they had nothing to hang their hats on offensively the whole first 2 quarters until 22 seconds before the half when Jordan Graham takes it to the house. They needed a spark. Little did we know it would come from number 8.
We're at halftime. Oak Ridge trails 14-7. We're going to send it back to Brian Bennett. We're on FM 92.7, FM 94.7, prepradio.com, and Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15. And we'll be back to West High School in 3 minutes.
The Rebels will be kicking off to start the second half. And the kickoff for the Rebels, number 62, Mark Saez.
Welcome back once again to West High School. The Wildcats are taking the field. We had a long halftime. We had a very short first half. I was looking at the tape here, like under 45 minutes for the entire first half.
Yeah, it's crazy how quick that went, but that's what happens when you have two teams who are not only running the ball, but when they do pass the ball, they're doing a lot of short passes, a lot of easy completions, and defensively, not a ton of turnovers, a ton of penalties, anything like that. The clock just kept rolling.
Here's the kick by West. It's a touchback. It's going to go in and out of the end zone, hit the back line of the end zone. You know, it didn't look so great punting at times in this ball game, but man, the kicker's got a really strong leg. And Coach Gaddis told us that in the pregame show, and he definitely does.
Yeah, they got a different place kicker than they do their punter, even though their punter is listed as both. Their place kicker actually is Mark Saez. He's a senior, and shows his experience. He's got a boot on him.
And the Oak Ridge offense is on the field once again. Let's see if they can generate some offense. 14-7 is our score. Jeremy Mitchell is a receiver to the right side of the quarterback, along with Kyrie Pendergrass. The quarterback is Herbert Booker. The Wildcats come out. 2 running backs. Trey Jackson in the backfield, along with Jordan Graham. Herbert Booker is the quarterback, and Herbert's going to pitch it once again to Jordan Graham. He's at the 20, down the sideline, 25, and pushed out of bounds right at the 25-yard line. Positive play there. It'll be second down and 5 yards to go for the Wildcats.
Sort of got the hot hand for Oak Ridge, and really the only one that's been able to get much going so far for Oak Ridge. So if Jordan's legs can carry this offense, well, then by all means, let him do it. Keep getting him the ball and getting him the ball in space. You got Romano in there in the backfield. Pendergrass, Graham, Isaiah Johnson, as well as Jeremy Mitchell, the wideouts for Oak Ridge.
Second down, 5 yards to go, 11:52 to play, just underway in the second quarter. West leads the Wildcats 14-7. The Wildcats trying to go 2-0 in region play. West also undefeated in region play. Herbert's going to roll to his left, pitch it out once again. There's Jordan Graham. He's across the 30 to the 35 to the 40 to the 42-yard line. A 10-bank of Oak Ridge first down. Another explosive run that time, and a nice pitch that time by Herbert Booker.
He just simply doesn't look that fast when he's going at an angle, but as soon as he's able to put his foot in the ground, Jordan Graham that is, and get upfield north and south, he is shot out of a cannon, and he nearly broke that one.
Wildcats at the 42-yard line. They're moving left to right here as we look from the top of the press box here on the west sideline. First down, 10 yards to go. Brian Wyatt signals in the play from the sideline. Joe Gaddis, head coach of the Wildcats, began coaching at Oak Ridge High School 30 years ago. It's hard to believe. As Herbert Booker has it, first down, 10 yards to go. Herbert this time hands it off to Jordan. Jordan across the 45. Wildcat offensive line beginning to get a little push there on the left side and the right side. Much better looking here in the second half.
Yeah, they are. I think they got a little pep talk in there, and I think they got some confidence in that final drive when they just got just one hole was enough to spring Jordan Graham. Had gone to him early and often to start this half. And 10:52 to go here in the third quarter. Oak Ridge trailing by 7. They've got it. Second down and 6. From their own 47-yard line.
Jeremy Mitchell, Kyrie Pendergrass split out to the right side. Backfield split for Herbert Bookers. Lone running back, 2 running backs, 1 lone receiver to the left. Herbert's going to fumble the football, pick it up. Going backwards again, dumps the pass, incomplete. Man, very fortunate right there. Herbert was going to be sacked, got away, saw Jordan Graham come free and just kind of tossed it in the middle of a lot of blue shirts there, and we're fortunate to get the ball back.
Yeah, if Jordan Graham wasn't maybe a couple steps further away, then you could be looking at an intentional grounding, a penalty, and a loss of down, but thankfully that one fell harmlessly to the turf. Dangerous pass.
Third down, 5 yards to go. The ball at the Oak Ridge 46-yard line. 10:27 to play third quarter. The West fans beginning to chant the defense chant here. Wildcats down to 9 seconds on the play clock here. Down to 6 seconds on the play clock. See what Herbert gets it off 3 seconds, 2 seconds. He got it off just in time. Flags went down. Jordan's going to lose 3 yards anyway. Must be some kind of emotion. There was in the backfield. It didn't look comfortable at all. The Wildcats waited to the last second on the play clock anyway. It can't be delay of game. He got the play off, but it had to be some kind of procedural. It is against Oak Ridge. I haven't seen the official signal. The referee comes over to tell us it is illegal shift against the Wildcats.
Interesting. I didn't pick up on what that would have been. There was a man in motion, so it could have been him, but I didn't pick up, and nothing keyed in my brain to say, hey, there's a flag. But as you mentioned, as soon as the ball was snapped, the 2 flags were thrown. And West, I believe, is probably going to deny this penalty, make it 4th down, and that's exactly what they'll do. It'll be about 4th and about 8 yards. And Wildcats will send Kyrese Pendergrass out to punt. David, we cannot afford. We got a chance to flip the field, put our defense in good field position. You can't afford to have this one blocked.
He's already had 2 punts blocked in this ball game. 10:09 to play. 3rd quarter, 4th and 7. High snap. Very high short kick. See if it takes a good bounce. It's going to be down by Oak Ridge. Tyrell Romano right at the 35-yard line. Didn't get the best punt off, but at least he got it off. Exactly. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the West Rebels.
Probably the best punt of the night for Oak Ridge, probably easily. And so the Rebels, even though we thought we were going to be able to flip the field a little bit, did so a little bit, but West is still going to have pretty good field position considering starting the ball at their own 30, they'll call it 36-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the West High Rebels.
Atlanta Braves have taken a 4-2 lead over the Nationals. Braves trying to win the Eastern Division. Here come the Rebels to the line. 1st down, 10 yards to go. Ball at their own 35-yard line, moving right to left here. That's the Oak Ridge band playing in front of us here. Quarterback will hand it off to the back, cuts it up the field, good running this time. Wildcats drop him after a gain of 2 or 3. Ball came out of there maybe for a second. He scored it free up to the 41-yard line. One of their better runs of the night, actually.
Yeah, Tadarius Arnett, a 5'8 senior, not quite 150 pounds. And he's a slight guy, but he's pretty quick-footed back there, as it looks like Wes is going to have somebody go down. There's an injury, so hopefully he'll be okay. Let's take a 60-second timeout, and when we come back, we'll resume action.
So late on the spots. We got to get.
We've had like a commercial.
I know. That's what I want to do.
Old mic, right?
Yes. Welcome back once again to West High School. Rebels have it 2nd down, a long 5 to go, and there's a problem with the snap. The line moved, the ball didn't get snapped, and I think that should be a 5-yard step off against the Rebels. Wildcats did not get their offense. They got a couple first down, 1 first down on that possession, but weren't able to generate any offense. But unfortunately, Bryson, they didn't get the punt block.
Well, I mean, I thought that the drive looked really promising, and it's not good that we couldn't convert it into a touchdown or at least even a field goal. But I think if we can just use that same type of energy, I think we can pull this game out.
2nd down, 10 yards to go, 8:58 to play. Bryson doing camera work. We're standing on the press box. I'm standing next to the camera guy, giving him a little airtime here. Quarterback hands it to the back. Boom! He's blasted right at the line of scrimmage again. Wildcats hit him right at the line. He's done a lot of that. It's probably big number 44. Anytime there's a big collision in the middle part of the line, usually 44 is around it, and that's Jacob Adams. I mentioned he had 16 tackles a week ago against Farragut. Wildcats trailing it 14-7, 8:30 to play. 3rd quarter from West High School. The first trip ever for an Oak Ridge football team to West. The 7 previous games in 1954, 1955, 56, 60, 61, and 2 times last year were all played at Blankenship Field. 3rd down, 10 yards to go from the West 35-yard line. They want to pass. Setting up the screen, intercepted. Matthew Calhoun picks it off at the 25-yard line. That time, they set up that little screen to allow the lineman to jump in there. Matthew realized it, being the smart guy that he is, picks it off with a one-handed interception, and Oak Ridge has it. First down, 10 yards to go. The line of scrimmage will be the West 26-yard line.
I think that's a perfect interception, perfect spot, perfect read. I mean, nothing more you can do other than take it to the house.
At the 26-yard line, big play in the ballgame. The Wildcats trying to get right back in it. They trail it by a score of 14-7. Wildcats with 3 receivers to the left side, 1 lone man, Jeremy Mitchell to the right. In motion, Tyrell Romano. Herbert's going to run it. Herbert, 20, 15, Herbert Booker, 10. Herbert Booker down to the West 7-yard line. It'll be first down, goal to go for the Wildcats. And you can tell there's a little, I don't know, the air has been deflated from the West High Rebels because the Wildcats have been able to make some big plays here, and now Oak Ridge has got to get it in. The Wildcats struggled to get it in the end zone last week, a couple times, 3 times actually. Let's see what they can do here. It's first down, goal to go after that 10 bank of Oak Ridge run by Herbert Booker. In motion, Jordan Graham. He gets the handoff, tries to get to the corner. He's at the 10 and is buried right at the line of scrimmage. Great pursuit by the Rebels. It'll be second down, goal to go for the Wildcats at the 7-yard line. 7:34 to play in the third quarter. And the Wildcats trail it 14-7. No gain on the play. Second down, goal to go for the Oak Ridge Wildcats. Moving left to right, wearing their gray pants, white jerseys, Cardinal numerals. The West Rebels wearing their white pants, blue jerseys, white and red numerals. 7:11 to play. Big interception there by Matthew Calhoun.
I talked about at the beginning of the game, David, where the quarterback Moore is just not very tall. If Oak Ridge can get some hands up on it, they can make something happen, and thankfully they did.
Herbert has a man. It's Tyrell Romano, but he can't get to him. I think if he turns around initially, sees Tyrell, that's a touchdown. It'll be third down, goal to go.
I was on the sideline momentarily, had to go run something down to one of our cameramen, James Branson. And as the interception happened, Coach Gaddis turns to an assistant and goes, "We have got to score the football." And Oak Ridge right now, third down and goal from the 8-yard line. This is a big down for both sides.
You are out of shape, aren't you, Alex?
a lot of steps, a lot of steep hills here. David, it was uphill both ways going over this far sideline.
Let's see, Coach Gaddis is going to call a timeout. 14-7 our score. We'll take a break. We'll be back in 60 seconds. David Clary back here along with Alex Myers, Bryson Brown, James Branson, Alex Waraxa, Ben Baker. Ryan Bennett back at the station. Third down, goal to go, Oak Ridge. The ball at the 8-yard line. Wildcats struggled to get it into the end zone last week. Let's see what Herbert can do. Herbert wants to run. Now he's going to pass it into the end zone. That's got to be pass interference. There's no flag, though. It's fourth down, goal to go at the 8-yard line. Heavy pressure that time. Good defense, really, but there was some contact. But either way, it's fourth and goal, and Malcody's going to have to come in and kick.
You know, you got an inexperienced kicker here. Dave, I know I'm the color commentator, so I'm not supposed to be asking questions. But do you think about going for this here simply because West hasn't moved the ball very well? If you don't get it, then potentially, at the worst-case scenario, you turn the ball over, they got to drive it 92 yards, and I don't know that they can do that.
We struggled last week to get it in the end zone last time, and I think they just want to get some points on the board here. Malcody this will be a 25-yard kick. Good snap. Kick is on its way. Looks good. It's on its way. It is good.
And now there's a penalty.
And there might be a roughing the – we'll have to check. But the kick was good. You don't want to take – unless it's a personal foul penalty, it gives them an automatic first down. You don't normally want to take points off the board here. We'll see what the official says. They might have been offsides here. We'll see. There's long discussion. And the official comes over to tell us it is going to be holding against the Rebels. And it's a personal foul. Personal foul. So if that's the case,
should be a first down. Then.
It would be a first down. It looked like he signaled holding to me.
He did signal holding, which you can do on the defensive side. But
that's not a personal
foul. Not sitting
foul.
their offense out. So this is So what must have been a 5-yard penalty, because they're now signaling Coach Gaddis is going to decline it. So which leads us to believe that it wouldn't have been enough for a first down. It would just have been 4th and 2 or 3.
6:47 to play, third quarter. The Wildcats trail 14-10. We'll take a break. We'll send it back to Brian. We'll be back with the Wildcat kickoff in 60 seconds. Hudson's got the ball on the tee. Here's the kickoff by the Wildcats. High end over end kick's going to be fielded by the Rebels at the 10. 15 to the 20. Trying to get to the outside. And they do a little bit. And then, big stick at the 30-yard line. Wildcats, big hit by Tyrell Romano at that point. And that is where the Rebels will take over first down, 10 yards to go. I agree with what you said a minute ago, Alex, but just watching last week's ball game when the Wildcats were able to get the ball inside the 10 and not able to get touchdowns, I think Coach Gaddis just happy to get points.
Yeah, certainly if knowing beforehand that Camden is going to be able to knock that home, absolutely you take the points. The kicking situation hasn't been quite as consistent this year as it has in the past couple of years, but if you got confidence and you know you can go out there and kick it, which obviously Coach Gaddis and Coach Saunders did, then by all means, send him out there.
Quarterback rolls to his right, fires a pass wide open in the flats, and he's going to pick up yardage before Jacob Adams drops him at the 40. It's going to be short of a first down, but nice play, really quick pass.
Yeah.
And
nice play by Isaiah Johnson right there. He was the far side corner. The ball that's not his man that caught the ball. He came off of a deeper receiver about 15, 20 yards downfield, came up and played good defense, contained him until help like Jacob Adams and other linebackers could get there, and actually what should have easily been a first down was only a gain of 9, so they'll still have to pick up the first down going forward. It's 2nd and 1, 6:02 to go here in the third quarter. West leading at 14-10.
Ball is at the West 40-yard line. Second down, as Alex said, 1 yard to go. From the shotgun once again, 4-man front. Oak Ridge drops back to pass, pressured, fires a pass, caught for a first down at the 46-yard line by number 8, and it's a 1st and 10 for the Rebels.
And our quarterback Jawan Moore has taken some shots. That time another one. Samuel Hensley, the deliverer of that hit, and that takes a toll. He just threw an interception. Now he's getting hit as he's releasing the ball. Look for Moore to potentially make I don't want to say a rookie mistake. He's a senior, so he's played some football throughout his years here. But that takes a toll on you as a quarterback. You're going to maybe start throwing off your back foot, trying to get it out a little quicker, and that could cause issues. They're getting some trouble getting the play in right now, Dave.
Yeah, they're down to 10 seconds on the play clock, so they've got plenty of time. Man comes in motion. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the 46-yard line. Low snap, dug out, but then a nice tackle by the Wildcats at the line of scrimmage. I think it was Jeremy Mitchell and maybe one other guy, Darius Stewart perhaps. Gain of maybe a yard on the play. Second down, 9 yards to go. 5:05 to play, third quarter. West leads Oak Ridge 14-10. Last year, if you remember the playoff ball game, Oak Ridge won 16-6 in a low-scoring game.
Yeah, it's kind of been the path both of these teams have taken when they've played each other. Just really, to me, doesn't say as much about the offense as it does about how good these defenses have been.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Once again, the quarterback wants to pass, pumps. Here comes pressure, fires a pass, almost intercepted. Almost picked off. That would have been a pick six for the Wildcats. Good breakup of the pass there because he got there just at the point of the ball. The West fans might have wanted an interference there, but it wasn't to be. It's going to be third down, 9 yards to go.
The defensive back on the play was Isaiah Johnson, as you mentioned. If he gets his hands just a second sooner, is able to actually catch the ball, he's probably taken to the house. That play, though, was set up by Matthew Calhoun. As he comes through, the quarterback had to pump fake because Calhoun was coming through with his hands up, nearly got his hand on another one right there.
Third down, 9 yards to go. Straight drop this time. Lots of time. Across the way. Passes there. It's almost intercepted by Tyrell Romano. It is incomplete. It's fourth down. The Wildcat defense holds.
Yeah, Johnson's all over the field tonight on the defensive side of things. He got burnt earlier, but he has more than made up for that for the rest of the game so far. He is absolutely playing a tremendous second half at that cornerback on the far side of the field. Kyrese Pendergrass standing back. David, we need a big play in special teams.
14-10, West on top, 4.5 minutes to play third quarter. The game you're listening to live on FM 92.7, FM 94.7. Wildcats stack the line here. Wildcats have Pendergrass standing back at the 25. Punt is away. It's high. Spiraling kick. Fair catch is made by Kyrese right at the 20-yard line, maybe a little bit behind it. It'll be first and 10 Oak Ridge from that point.
So if you're Oak Ridge, this is by no means great starting field position, starting at your own 20, but you had it, your defense came up a big stop. At this point in the game, it's obvious, if you look at the scoreboard, David, it's not about scoring every time you get the ball. A big part of the remainder of this game, to me, is going to be field position. So even if you don't score, it's important that on drives, especially with the punting woes so far, that you're moving the football, trying to pin West offense back, even if you're not able to score, but at least move the ball. Give your defense a rest and flip the field. It's important as Oak Ridge starts off 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line, 4:23 to go here in the third.
Moving left to right here, Kyrie Pendergrass in the ball game. It's Herbert running the ball, and then Herbert going down, sacked. Lost 2 or 3. That time, tried to read it there, and West was just there to drop him. And Herbert just hasn't had much room at all when he's tried to go on the sideline and try to cut it up.
It's not easy to contain him, but West has done a very good job for the most part tonight. I can count the number of times on one hand, probably. It seems like that Herbert has made the wrong read this year. That time he probably should have given it up the middle to Romano, as it looks like it's Romano again in the backfield. 3 receivers right side, 1 to the left. That's Graham.
Second down, 12 yards to go now. Herbert's going to pitch it out to Jordan Graham. Looking for blockers. No place to go. Goes down all the way back to the 10-yard line. Tried to bounce it to the outside, and I think, honestly, and you don't really like him to go backwards like that. I think if he does elude that one guy, he does get to the sideline and goes. But West is just so quick. They pursue to the ball so quickly.
Yeah, I think against every opponent that we've played this year, and maybe we will for the remainder of the regular season from this point on, against every opponent, that works. Against this defense, it does not. You cannot run backwards on this team. They're just too fast defensively. 3rd and a long 14, deep in your own territory, David. Cannot make a mistake and force an interception right here.
Obviously, they need to get to the 30-yard line for a first down. 3:07 to play, 14-10. Herbert runs into the man, flags are down. Herbert breaks the tackle, 20, 25, 30. That's a first down, but I think it's coming back. It's going to be tackled at the 37-yard line. I think we have something back there at around the 20-yard line.
I think you're right. There's a flag laying way back down to the 15, which is basically a yard behind the line of scrimmage. So, in theory, more than likely this is going to be a holding, and that is unfortunately exactly what the call is. And that will bring it back, and bad news is it's going to back Oak Ridge up. They will, since they got a first down, they will accept the penalty, so Oak Ridge will have another play. It's going to be really, really a tough play right here, backed up deep in your own territory, trying to get more than 20 yards to convert.
It's tough because Herbert actually got that first down on a really nice run, but it is indeed half the distance to the goal. They're going to put the ball down as although it's not 10 yards, it's going to be about 7-yard step off, half the distance to the goal, the 6. You can't really listen to the PA guy here, Alex. I mean, he's not exactly correct. It's half the distance, and it'll be 3rd down and 23 now. It'll be Herbert operating now from the goal line here. 2:49 to play, 3rd quarter, clock moving. 14-10, the Wildcats trail. So either way, unless we get a first down here, they're going to get great field position. And, we've had 2 punts blocked already. Herbert's going to run it. Herbert's going to move the ball forward for positive yardage to the 16-yard line, where it'll be 4th down and about 15 yards to go, and they will have to punt.
And you lose yards, which you could not afford to do. West is excited, pumped up, obviously, and understandably as they go off the sideline. Kyrie's had a couple really good punts this year. Hasn't had his best night tonight. We're going to need a really good punt out of him. The wind is actually blowing west or right to left, which is actually in his face, so that's not favorable. But he's going to need a boomer this time.
2:07 to play, and the wind's pretty stiff here, so that could be a factor. Let's see what Kyrie's can do. Good snap this time. Gets the punt away. It's a wobbly end-over-end kick. It's going to take a bounce in the favor of the West Rebels, but the Wildcats have good coverage there to drop him right at the 50-yard line. Kwan Stacy Wright makes the tackle in Oak Ridge territory at the 47-yard line, but pretty good coverage really by Oak Ridge.
Yeah, all things considered, the wind in his face. Kyrie's not a natural punter. Not a bad situation considering the way the punts have gone tonight and the couple of blocks for West. Oak Ridge trailing by 4 here, 14-10. If West is able to get on the board here, you need to hold them to a field goal if they do end up scoring, because that'll keep it a 1-possession game. But hold your horses. 1st and 10 from the Oak Ridge 47-yard line. West has it 1:48 to go here in the 3rd.
Wind is blowing quite hard here, actually, although there's no real threat of rain as the quarterback's back to pass. Quarterback looks, fires a pass. Oh, incomplete. Wow, what a hit there by Oak Ridge. I was going to boom big stick him, but I thought he caught the ball. Pendergrass or somebody just lowered the boom on the receiver and knocked the ball away.
Herbert Booker, 13 down there, got his shoulder on him, and it's tough to do as a corner to try to get a clean hit, not to take a shot at the helmet when you're jumping up in the air that time. But at every level of football, high school, college, pros, that's a clean hit. Got his shoulder on the body. Beautiful pass breakup right there by Herbert.
From the 47-yard line, the Rebels with 1:40 to play in the third quarter lead Oak Ridge 14-10. Second down, 10 yards to go. Once again, they're going to want to pass. The quarterback's running, wants to cut it up the field, and he goes down. He didn't read that real well either.
No.
I mean,
There's not a lot to read there. I mean, he had one option, which is to pitch it out wide. If he did that, there's no room out there. Oak Ridge's defense almost acted like almost like a rope, if you will. Your linebacker's defensive end just kind of slides out to the side. Don't really give up any ground in the meantime. So what happens is, eventually the quarterback just has to go, well, I'm just going to tuck it and get what I can, and he did just that and got about a yard. Third down, 9 yards to go, 67 seconds to go in the third quarter. Big play right here for the Wildcat defense.
From the 46-yard line, once again, two receivers to the right. Let's see if they dump one in the flat. That worked for Farragut. It worked for West earlier. Quarterback rolls, dumps it in the flat. It's going to be caught and complete. Close
just
to a
short.
First down. Man, it's pretty close, though. Very, very close. That's something that he got a great spot. I think that's a first down from where they got it.
I thought he's about a half a yard further than he actually got, but their view is closer than mine, so it is going to be a first down West, and you called that before the play, so you know Oak Ridge's coaching staffs know that was a weakness last week, and obviously tonight that's been hit with a couple times, and pivotal play right there, David. You needed to get the ball back.
Ball's at the 37-yard line. First down, 10, 28 seconds to play here. They have to get one play off here in the third quarter. Then we'll head to the fourth. Wildcats trail at 14-10. Wildcats could use another turnover here. We've come close on a couple deflections here. We got one interception. 13 seconds to play. He's going to pass again. Once again in the flats. Once again wide open at the 30. And then Wildcats drop him. Jacob Adams and Jeremy Mitchell drops him. And it's short of a first down. Although they do stop the clock at the 27-yard line. See exactly if they give him the first down. They put it at the 27. That's where he needed to get for a first down. That is the final play of the third quarter. 14-10 is our score. We'll be back with the fourth and final quarter. The Wildcats trailing it. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Getting loud here at West High School. Fourth and final quarter. West has it. Second down. Well, actually, they gave him a first down, according to the sticks there. First down, 10 yards to go. Quarterback wants to pass. Looks deep. Overthrown, incomplete. Good coverage by Oak Ridge. West fans wanted a flag, but it's just good coverage by Oak Ridge's Jeremy Mitchell, I believe.
And Jeremy Mitchell all over that. As soon as the ball was thrown, Mitchell was there. A lot of times you see defensive backs, linebackers have to catch up as the ball is thrown. Mitchell was there from the moment that ball was tossed deep, and there was never a chance because Mitchell was all over him. Excellent coverage that time by Oak Ridge's Jeremy Mitchell. For a second, while we've got a second, David, he's such a great defender because he's versatile. He's big enough and strong enough to play defensive end when they need him to kind of come up as an extra lineman. He plays as a linebacker, and you see him right now. He's split out almost as a cornerback. He can play just about every position on the field as a defensive player, and that's really, really valuable.
Second down, 10 yards to go, 11:51 to play in the game. Quarterback's going to run it. He's got good running room, then falls down. I think he could have gone at least inside the 10-yard line, but he lost his footing. But not before he picks up a first down, I believe. And I don't know if he didn't slide, or did he want to get hit, or
I think he slid, Dave. I don't know if he saw something out of the corner of his eye, heard somebody behind him, but he was faster than the defensive lineman that was chasing him, and he had 5 to 7 more yards of green grass over to the left. I'm with you. I think he easily could have gotten inside the 10-yard line if he wanted to right there.
Ball is put down at the 16-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. The Wildcats need to stop. High snap. Quick pass is going to be caught. Wildcats make the stop right at the 15-yard line. Held up initially by Shamar Smith, I believe. Kyrie's Pendergrass, Jacob Adams, Stewart there to make sure he didn't go any place. It's a gain of 3. Second down, we'll call it actually a gain of 4. Second down, 6 yards to go. 11:08 to play. You weren't at the Farragut ball game, but Farragut marched the ball down the field, kept it about 8 minutes in the fourth quarter, kept the ball away from the Wildcats, and Right now, West has got the ball inside the 15-yard line. Second down 6, 10:52 to play, and they'll milk the clock, the play clock, all the way down.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, some of these college teams, David, you see them just run up and snap the ball as quick as you can just to keep their pace up. Well, this is a wise move. Take the clock all the way down.
Quarterback dumps it off in the flat once again, and Wildcats hit him, but he's going to pick up a first down. Wildcats playing off in the flat areas on the sides of the hash there, and just giving them too much room.
And you know, maybe 40 yards back, that's something you do. But down here inside the 20, David, in my opinion, you got to be aggressive as a defensive back, because what are you really risking? It's first and goal at the 6. At this point, to me, I'm trying to pick off every pass. If there's any chance I can get there and get in front of the wideout, I'm doing it. Same thing if you're a linebacker. Jump the routes when you're this far in. The risk-reward is much more favorable to the reward side of that.
First down goal to go at the 6-yard line for West. Hand off to the running back. He's got a touchdown, untouched, right up the middle. The Rebels score with 10:03 to play in the ball game. Put 7 more on the board, and they lead Oak Ridge by 10. Could be 11 after the extra point. 20-10 is our score. So very impressive drive by the West Rebels, who've been able to move the ball. The Wildcats just cannot move the football when they've got it. And the Rebels, a big drive right there.
No, they don't. And, you know, every time from here on out that they go 3 and out or Oak Ridge isn't able to score, it's just really more favorable to West, because the clock is going to continue to churn, and right now it's not in your favor.
Kick is on his way. It's up, and it's good. 10:03 to play in the ball game. West leads the Wildcats 21-10. We'll be back to West High School in 60 seconds. Here's the kickoff by West. It's high. Jordan's going to field it at the goal line. That'll be another touchback. Wildcats have got to go up the field with the football. Alex Myers here. They have got to score 11 points here in the final 10 minutes here. They're down 21-10.
Yeah, you know, David, because of the way they move the ball and because of the way you've kind of been stagnant offensively for most of the game, this seems like all of a sudden, oh no, we've got to go down and score. We've got to go do it quickly. You really don't. Obviously, you don't want to waste a possession. You don't want to waste more time than you have to. But it's a 2-possession game. You score in a couple of minutes right here, and you're right back in it. So no need to panic, although you do need to move with some urgency offensively.
10:03 to play in the game, 21-10. The Wildcats trailing the West High Rebels. Oak Ridge has never lost to West ever in the 7 previous meetings. Herbert Booker at quarterback. Going to pitch it out to reverse to Kyrese Pendergrass. He's going to break free, and up the field he goes to the 20, to the 30, to the 35. Kyrese Pendergrass across the field to the 40. Cuts to the outside. Here comes a big block. Gets the ball across midfield, all the way down to the West 47-yard line. Kyrese Pendergrass, all Kyrese right there. First and 10 Wildcats.
Yeah, it was supposed to be, it was initially almost, it was like a reverse. It was supposed to be a pass to the intended receiver that time, I think, was Jonathan Stewart. He was well covered. A headsy move by Kyrese not to just launch it into coverage. Instead, he decides to tuck it and run it. But the path that he ran, David, started on the left side, ran to the right side, ran downfield about 20 or 30 yards, cut back across to this side of the field, and then cut it upfield yet again. He got a gain of what, probably, Dave, about 35, 40 yards there. He probably ran 85 or 90 to get that.
9:14 to play in the ball game. First and 10 Wildcats. The ball is at the 48-yard line. 5 seconds on the play clock. Here's the pitch to Jordan Graham. He's got the corner. Cuts inside to the 45, to the 40, 35, 30. Guess what? Touchdown, Oak Ridge! Jordan Graham takes it all the way in for the score.
Graham is there. He's fast and he's all over the field. Not often do you see Jordan Graham get to the outside, and it's a good idea to gut back inside. That time he knew better than I did, David. He cut it back inside, made one man miss. There was a couple guys downfield, but they had absolutely no shot to get him. He ran all the way 52 yards for the score, and Jordan Graham gets us right back in at 8:54 to go, and we're an extra point away from this being a 21-17 ball game.
8 minutes, 54 seconds to play in the ball game. Camden Malcody to attempt the extra point. The holder is rep logo Kai Hirsch to snap.
Extra point.
Snap, hold, kick is on its way. It's up, and it is good. The Wildcats trail the West High Rebels 21-17. 8:54 to play in the ball game, and we'll be back with a kickoff in 60 seconds. Welcome back to West High School. David Clary, exciting ball game here. Alex Myers with me, Bryson Brown, James Branson, Alex Waraxa, Ben Baker, Brian Bennett, our studio engineer. 21-17, the Wildcats trailing it. Lots of noise being made by Oak Ridge. Hudson's kickoff is an end-over-end kick. Fielded at the 1, goes into the end zone, takes it out to the 10, to the 15. Wildcats need to hem him in right here, and they do, ladies and gentlemen. He is dropped at the 12-yard line, and that is where the Wildcat defense will try to hold them in here as the West offense will come onto the field. Good kickoff that time.
And I'm excited right here, David, not just because we scored, but here's the situation. For once, West is backed up deep in their own territory, inside of their 15-yard line. And guess what? We talked about it earlier, almost more Oak Ridge fans than there are West fans. After a long, lengthy drive that West just ran, you got to worry about your defense being tired, but offensively, if you're West, you just put all that effort in for nothing. It's right back to just how it was, a 4-point game. It's a little bit debilitating. If Oak Ridge can get a quick stop right here, look out.
8 minutes, 48 seconds to play in the ball game. West quarterback hands it to the back. Boom! He's blasted behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 9-yard line. So a big, big defensive play by the Wildcats.
Calhoun in there. It looks like Stewart was in there along with Herbert Booker, Rep Logel, Sam Hensley. A host of Oak Ridge Wildcats make the tackle right there, and it's a loss of about 3. 2nd and 13 to go here. Ball on the 11.
The Rebels moving left to right here, 8:19 to play. Wildcats trailing 21-17 in this region ball game. Alex Myers, big ball game.
This is one that we could look back 4, 5, 6 weeks from now and say this was the key.
Defining ball game. West comes in undefeated in the region as they come to the line. 2nd down, officially 12 yards to go. Bad snap, quarterback rolls, has all running room in the world if he wants to tuck and run. He hesitates, and that gives Oak Ridge an opportunity to shove him out of bounds up at the 18-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and about 5. He hesitated. He picks up a 1st down if he just keeps running.
Yeah, or at the very least, he picks up, he's a yard or 2 away. Instead, he's 6 yards. He helped Isaiah Johnson. The cornerback was kind of on an island one-on-one, and when he hesitated, it basically gave Isaiah a chance to break down and get closer and cut off that angle, and it's now 3rd and 6. Big play for the Wildcat defense. As you hear the stands across the way, the Wild Band, the parents, the student section, they're coming alive, David.
They're going to dump it in the flat here. It's 3rd down, 5 yards to go, and now they call a timeout. Our score here was 7:51 to play in the ball game. Oak Ridge trails West 21-17. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Quarterback back to pass, looks, has all day, goes deep down the field, passes there, pass is going to be broken up in the last moment by Herbert Booker. Herbert Booker breaks it up in the last moment. Very similar to the touchdown they scored earlier, but a good play defensively by Herbert.
May have been the same route. This time it was Michael Webb, the senior 5'8", 136-pound speedster at wideout. He had Herbert beat. The throw, David, it hung in the air just a little bit long, and it was a little bit underthrown, and because of that, it allowed Herbert, the defensive back, the corner, to come back and make the play. Herbert got his hands up just in time, but didn't interfere. Really, really nice play to make up for getting beat right there by Herbert, but a great recovery. 4th
down, 5 yards to go. Their punter punting from his own 5-yard line. Kyrie Pendergrass standing back near midfield. 21-17 the score. Punt is away. It's high. It's good. Fair catch is signaled for and made by Kyrie Pendergrass at the Oak Ridge 47-yard line, and that's where the Wildcats will take over. 1st down, 10 yards to go. The Wildcats need 6 points here, Alex Myers.
They absolutely do. A field goal is not going to do you a lick of good. So in all likelihood, you're in 4-down territory from the get. 7:38 to go here in the ball game. Wildcats will take over in West territory at their 47-yard line, 47 yards away from Paydor. You can score quickly. You can take your time. You got all the time in the world, all the options in the world. If you're Oak Ridge, don't need to rush anything right there.
7 minutes, 38 seconds to play in the ball game. West leads Oak Ridge 21-17. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left for Oak Ridge. Trey Jackson comes in motion. Herbert's going to run it. Herbert at the 40. That's a 10 back of Oak Ridge. First down as he brings the ball to the 37-yard line and just an ankle tackle away from even going farther.
Yeah, he really did. It was kind of a design run. There were some receivers running the routes, though, so I think that may have been Herbert deciding to do that himself.
Looks like we have another timeout here. It looks like an injury timeout, and this injury timeout is sponsored by Donnie Sharp of East Tennessee Spine and Sport. When you're in pain, call Donnie. Take a break. We'll send it to Brian Bennett. 21-17 our score. We'll be back to West High School in 2 minutes. Welcome back once again to West High School. Wildcats have it first down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 36-yard line. Herbert Booker rolls to his right, wants to pitch. Jordan Graham pushed out of bounds.
Trey Jackson on the carry.
Jackson on the carry, David.
Knocked out of bounds.
It was actually, they said Jackson, but it was Jordan Graham, I believe. As Preston Turner's going to take a breather here. Jeremy Mitchell, Kyrese Pendergrass, Isaiah Johnson, and Jordan Graham, the 4 wideouts for Oak Ridge.
Second down, 5 yards to go. The ball at the 37-yard line. The injured West player comes off the field. West jumps the line of scrimmage there. No penalty. 7:16 to play in the game. 21-17 the score. The Wildcats need a touchdown here. They trail it here. 7:16 to play in the game. Herbert Booker sends Jackson in motion. Herbert's going to run it. Herbert's got good running room. 15 all the way down to the 12-yard line. It'll be another 10 back of Oak Ridge first down. Dragged down on the tackle by his helmet, but it's 1st and 10 Oak Ridge.
And it's not a face mask. You just say that, and to people listening at home that didn't see it might think it's a face mask. He got him kind of by the back, but not really a horse collar. Good tackle, but Herbert, great run. Another design quarterback run back there. David, give a shout out to my brother who's listening over in the Maryville area, getting good signal on Victory 92.7.
Wildcats have it officially at the West 14-yard line. 6:48 to play in the ball game. Wildcats in motion. Here comes Jordan Graham, cutting to the outside and runs out of bounds, is pushed out of bounds at around the 8-yard line. And the clock is stopped with 6:37 to play.
On the carry, knocked out of bounds.
Who on the carry? I don't think we have a guy by that name. I think he got the wrong roster there.
Jackson Snodgrass.
Anyway, it is a gain of 5 on the play for Jordan Graham. Second down, 5 yards to go.
Got man-to-man coverage. It looks like it's going to be. It looks like that's going to be the case. Kyrese over here is going to be matched up in the slot, and it's going to be Isaiah Johnson, the bigger wide receiver for Oak Ridge, about 6 foot tall. He's going to be all alone on the near side, outside of the hash. Got a lot of options, not a lot of space to work with inside the 10-yard line.
Ball's at the 7. Second down, 5 yards to go for Oak Ridge. Herbert straight up the gut. This time, no place to go. He is driven back hard. That time, West was ready. West was sitting there ready for Herbert, and down he goes.
You went to the well one too many times right there, but almost, kind of the Steve Spurrier adage of, why don't you just run the play until you stop them? And West finally proved that they could stop it. So for this third down here, Herbert is going to have to make a play, but that doesn't mean he can't make a play with his legs. We've seen him do it time after time. A lot of times, not even on a pass, on an option play where he decides to fake it, keep it up the middle. Herbert's legs are just as dangerous, but I think Oak Ridge is going to call a timeout.
Yes, they are, with 6 minutes to play in the ball game. The Wildcats trail 21-17. We'll send it back to Brian one more time. We'll be back in 30 seconds. The loss is back to the 9-yard line. Honestly, there is a lot of time here, and Oak Ridge only has one timeout. I almost think it's 4-down territory right here.
It absolutely is, because a field goal doesn't really do you much good right here, Dave. You're down by 4, and with as little time as left, just 6 minutes to go, I don't think I'd count on having 2 possessions.
Here comes the reverse to Jordan Graham. He's at the 5. He's in the end zone. No, he's out of bounds at the 1, but the good news is, ladies and gentlemen, it is 1st and goal, Oak Ridge.
Somehow, it's hard to get a first down when you're inside that 5-yard line, but they were able to do it. Jordan Graham nearly got into the end zone. He gets into the past the 5-yard line to the 3, the 2, and all the way down, and they're going to call him. They're going to call in at the 2-yard line, so maybe not quite as good of a spot as we thought. They bring in the power backs here. Romano back into the ball game. Trey Jackson into the ball game. I'd look for something up the middle here.
Jordan comes out of the ball game. Once again, the Wildcats unsure of themselves. They might have to use their final timeout here. I see Coach Wyatt is livid on the sideline there that with their personnel.
They're going to have to.
Yeah, they're going to have to burn.
Good.
Yeah, that's tough. Coach Wyatt is furious across the field there.
And that's why you have to go for it and try to go for. You can't do a field goal now. Obviously, at the 2-yard line, you never want to have to send the field goal kicking team out there. But David, to me now, it's not even an option. You cannot send the field goal team out if you're not able to punch this in 4-down territory, because without a timeout, you don't have a guarantee you'll get the ball back.
5 minutes, 53 seconds to play next week. The Wildcats will be traveling to Sevier County, take on the Smoky Bears in what should be a little different kind of a ball game. They have a very athletic quarterback, throws the ball pretty well, runs the ball well, but Sevier County is really not as good. Definitely not as good a defensive team as this West team. It's the best defensive team we played all year for sure.
And probably the best. I'll go out, not too big of a limb here, but I'd venture to say it's probably the best defense, without a doubt, we'll see in the region throughout the remainder of the regular season until we get to the playoffs.
Ball is at the 2-yard line. Wildcats have it first down, goal to go. That was a 10 bank of Oak Ridge first down. Oak Ridge trails 21-17. The Wildcats have trailed the entire way, have never had the lead as the Wildcat offense comes to the 2-yard line. Hopefully they've got the play settled now. The Wildcats have in the backfield Herbert Booker at quarterback. The timeout did give Jordan Graham a chance to rest a bit, and Jordan's back in the game. Wildcats have 2 wings on the left, 2 receivers, 1 to the left, 1 to the right. Little shift, power formation, Herbert Booker at quarterback. Herbert's going to pitch it. No, he's going to run it. He runs to the end zone. Touchdown, Oak Ridge. Herbert Booker scores. Fake the pitch. Takes it in. The Wildcats have their first lead of the night with 5 minutes, 46 seconds to play in the ballgame. And Oak Ridge leads West 23-21.
Herbert's been there all year when the Wildcats have needed him defensively. They needed him offensively right there. And shockingly, not so shockingly, he came through. The Wildcat band, the Wild Band's playing the fight song, and we've got our first lead. It's 23-21. Very important extra point here, David, because if you miss this, a field goal would then win the ball game for West.
I know how you wanted me to call that right there, but I'm saving that for in the future. Mal Cody to attempt the extra point. Rip Logan the hole, high snap. Kick is on its way. It's up, and it is good. 5 minutes, 46 seconds to play in the ball game. Oak Ridge in the lead, 24-21, and we'll be back with a Wildcat kickoff in 60 seconds. David Clary back here along with Alex Myers, Bryson Brown, James Branson, Alex Waraxa, Ben Baker, Brian Bennett. Oak Ridge has its first lead of the night. It doesn't come until the 5:46 mark of the ball game. 24-21 Oak Ridge. Brady Hudson to kick off for the Wildcats, kicking right to left here. Oak Ridge student section going nuts across the field. Kick is going to be returned from the 5 to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then tackled at the 32-yard line. Somehow got through there. Tyrell Romano was able to get him, or he might have gone 95 yards for a score.
Very, very scary moment there for Oak Ridge. Just nearly gave up a touchdown on the kickoff return. But, you know, there was a couple guys there, Brady Hudson being one of them. Brady's a tough player. He's playing through some stuff right now, and he's played very well here tonight, as he has all season. I believe it was Romano who actually was the one who finally made the stop for Oak Ridge.
5:38 to play in the ball game. The ball's at the West 32-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. West has 2 timeouts. The Wildcats had to use their final timeout. Quarterback fires a pass, and the tackle is made by the Wildcats. Kind of just barely got a hand on him, but Jeremy Mitchell was able to get a hand on him right after a gain of about a quarter of a yard. Not much more than that. It'll be second down, 9 yards to go.
Grant Tierney's a really good athlete. He was the guy who made the catch, and if he could have made Jeremy Mitchell miss, he could have gotten 5 or 10 yards right there, but Mitchell tackles him in the backfield, well, near the backfield. They're going to call it at the line of the scrimmage. Shoestring tackle, but a great one.
5:07 and counting. Second down, 9 yards to go for the Rebels. 24-21, Oak Ridge in the lead. Quarterback hands it. Here's a reverse play, and he's got a lot of running room. But then, boom! Out of nowhere! Out of nowhere comes number 13, Herbert Booker. I thought he was going to go 40 or 50 yards. Herbert made a beeline and dropped him at the 36-yard line, and it's third down, 5 yards to go.
It was like a submarine, David. I didn't see him. I was looking the far side of the field, looking where the far side corner Johnson and the safety Rep Logal was, and I didn't see Herbert until about a third of a second before he made the tackle, and I saw him submarine just dive in and blast the guy.
4 minutes, 25 seconds and counting. Third down, 6 yards to go. Ball at the 37-yard line. What a play by Herbert. Quarterback from the shotgun. Third down, 6. Straight drop to pass. Pressured. Fires. Pass. Deep. That's pass interference. It is. That's a good call. They kind of got their legs kind of tangled up, and it's going to be a penalty against Oak Ridge. Tough one against Oak Ridge because it had pretty good coverage. The Oak Ridge fans are booing, but he tripped him up, and it's not at the spot in high school, so it's just up the field here.
Yeah, and it'll put him, and that was third down, which stinks, but it'll put him near midfield, and not a really egregious penalty that time by Isaiah Johnson. And actually, you're right, David. There's a couple flags in the backfield, so this could be offsetting.
It is going to be pass interference, and it is ineligible receiver downfield. So they do offset.
So that's really good, a really good break for the Wildcats right there. And as you said, it was incidental, but that's the right call down the field to make that call. I didn't see the ineligible receiver downfield, but I'm going to say it's a good call, David. And it's going to bring it back, and we'll basically repeat third down. It's 3rd and 6, 4:09 to go. West with the ball at their own 37-yard line.
Third down, 5 yards to go. The ball at the 37-yard line. 4:09 to play in this one. The Wildcats lead 24-21. Trailed the entire ball game until just moments ago, and now big play in the game, maybe big 2 plays in the game, depending on. They've got 2 timeouts left, as I mentioned. Third down, 6 yards to go. Back to pass, pressure again. Quarterback fires across the way, incomplete pass.
Shmar Smith on the defense there, David. It was a nice play because once Shmar hit the receiver, even though the receiver didn't have the ball, it was great technique because he wrapped him up, put his arm in between the guy's 2 arms, so even if he would have been able to have the ball, he would have likely been able to strip it out. Great technique taught by Coach Mitchell, Coach Miner, and the rest of those defensive coaches. It is 4th down, and I think West is making the right decision. They're bringing the punt team on here, David. With 2 timeouts, over 4 minutes to go, I think you've got to pin Oak Ridge back.
Kyrie's Pendergrass standing back at the 35-yard line. Oak Ridge on top, 24-21. Wildcats don't want to get burned on a fake here. The snap is good. Punt is away. It's high, short, absolutely short. Wildcats got to get clear of it, and a fair catch is made by Kyrie's at the 38-yard line of the Wildcats, and that's where Oak Ridge takes over. First down, 10 yards to go.
Great situation for Oak Ridge. Now, part of you says you look up there and go, okay, well, you just want to slow down and just take time off the clock, which you do. But Oak Ridge has been in such a rhythm the past couple drives that I say you don't want to slow it down too much. Just stay in your rhythm, stay in your groove, and try to move the ball. Now, obviously, you want to take time off the clock, but don't make that your sole focus. You still got to pick up a few first downs here. Keep the momentum going.
3:58 to play in the ball game. First down, 10 yards to go. Ball at the 38-yard line. Herbert Booker looks over to Coach Wyatt, changes the play. First down, 10 yards to go. Oak Ridge 24-21. The Wildcats in the lead. Herbert from the shotgun in motion, goes Tyrell Romano. Might be a busted play. Herbert's just running for his life. Can't take a sack here. He gets free at the 35, cuts to the outside to the 40, cuts back inside to the 45-yard line. It'll be a gain of about 7 on the play, and the clock runs with 3:40 to play in the ball game. Herbert took a late shot, but it's okay.
Well, he took a late shot, but what got me was that he was on the ground, and then when the contact was made, it was made to his helmet. And I don't know, that's just a dangerous play, but wise headsy play by Herbert, because most time you want your quarterback getting out of bounds, but he saw that he was getting close to the out of bounds line, stuck his foot in the ground and just kind of curled up into a ball and got on the ground, which keeps the clock running. Very wise play there by Herbert. Second down, about 4 yards to go, 3:13 to go here in the fourth quarter. Oak Ridge leading it 24-21.
6 seconds, 5 seconds on the play clock here. Herbert, 2 seconds, 1 second, got the snap. Jordan Graham gets the ball, 45, 50. Jordan Graham, a 10 bank of Oak Ridge. First down in the West territory at the 47-yard line. More downs, less clock for the West High Rebels to work with.
10 bank of Oak Ridge last year, they would say, 10 bank of Oak Ridge where you're the star. Well, that time and all night, Jordan Graham has been the star for Oak Ridge, and that time yet again coming through. First and 10 Oak Ridge, 2:48 to go. Clock resumes, starts to run again now as Oak Ridge moves just into West territory. Ball at the West 47-yard line.
And West is very content right now to let Oak Ridge work clock. Right now, 2:35 and counting. I guess they want to save it for their offense here. The Wildcats 2:31 to play. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the West 47. Straight handoff up the middle this time for about 3 yards. Moving the ball to the 46, and West will call one of their timeouts, stopping the clock as Romano carries. 2:21 to play in the ball game. Oak Ridge leads 24-21. Let's take a quick timeout. We'll send it back to Brian Bennett. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Second down, 6 yards to go for the Wildcats. The ball at the West 47-yard line. Jordan Graham moves the ball forward and has another 10 back of Oak Ridge first down.
And importantly, David, he fell down near the out-of-bounds line, but they're going to continue to run the clock. He fell down inbounds. So once the ball is spotted, the play clock will start, and Oak Ridge will get to run the clock down under 2 minutes.
24-21, the Wildcats in the lead. At the conclusion of the game, we'll have Mark Hayes statistics. We'll have James Branson down on the field with Coach Gaddis and maybe some player interviews. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Minute 55 and counting, 24-21. The Wildcats trailed the entire ball game until just under 6 minutes when the Wildcats took it in, and now they're just trying to milk the clock.
Tight formation here. Look for something inside or potentially a quarterback run, but
it's going to be Jordan Graham moving the ball across the 30. Jordan Graham has another 10 back of Oak Ridge first down and almost took it for another touchdown. He's inside the 20. You can just feel the air has gone out of the West side. They were into this ball game for 3.5 quarters, and they are dead silent right here in front of us.
A couple fans after that first down beginning to move towards the exits. And David, actually, even though he almost broke that one for a touchdown, for Oak Ridge, it's better that he didn't score, because if you score right there, you have to kick the ball back to West. Instead, with no timeouts left, or only one timeout remaining, mathematically, you probably can take three kneels here and run the clock out. Minute 10 and counting. The Wildcats down to 6 seconds on the play clock. Herbert, first down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the West 16-yard line. Herbert hands it off to Tyrell Romano. He's going to be slung down hard at the 15-yard line, and West is going to use their final timeout. 56.3 seconds to play, and the Wildcats lead at 24-21. Nice gain, though, just solid gain. You could feel a little frustration. That was a slam-down tackle by the West Rebels. As I mentioned, and we'll hold it right here. I know that's something I encourage you not to do, but at this stage in the ballgame, West played great. They played an excellent ball game. Field position battle most of this game. Couple block punts, but the Wildcats have made plays when they've had to down the stretch here, and they lead it. And right now, with 56 seconds and no timeouts remaining for West, looks like they might have enough time to just take it in and win their fourth game of the year. Yeah, and stay undefeated in the region play against one of the favorites to compete for the top of the region in West. And David, this is a game, I think you mentioned it, field position was everything. West was up at half, but West had won the field position battle both first and second quarter, and the result showed on the scoreboard. But looking back at it, we're going to look at the end of this ball game and think, how big was that late touchdown in the first half by Jordan Graham to give this team a spark?
Wildcats are in the victory formation here. It's second down, 6 yards to go, and there's the snap, and we're down to 55 seconds to play, and the Wildcats are headed for a victory here, Alex Myers. It came very, very, a great deal of difficulty, but the Wildcats are going to come away with a win. It's going to be third down and 6. West cannot stop the clock at all, and the Wildcats, all they have to do is take one more need for sure. There is about a 10-second difference between the play clock and the game clock. The Wildcats very fortunate. They got that touchdown, had to use their final timeout. And I know Coach Wyatt was not pleased that the personnel, if it was the personnel or just if the personnel knew what the play was. As the Wildcats, Herbert takes a knee, and that does it. The Wildcats are victorious here tonight at the West High School. The Wildcats remain undefeated all time against West. Oak Ridge wins 24-21, and the celebration begins at the center of the field, and the gigantic student section across the field celebrating the victory for the Wildcats. They win it 24-21. Alex, very exciting ball game. Not a whole lot of action in the first half, but you're right. The Jordan Graham touchdown to give Oak Ridge momentum heading into the dressing room at halftime. Big play in the ballgame, other big plays, but that was so key.
Yeah, I mean, you can point to a number of plays and say without this, they don't win. But to me, that right there was so key because Oak Ridge got the momentum, then they got the ball coming out to start the second half, and it kind of just set the tone for this offense to say, hey, we didn't do it often and we didn't play very well in the first half, but we can move the ball and we can have success against this tough West defense. They went in the halftime knowing, hey, we didn't play well, but we're only down 7. They fixed a few things at halftime, flipped the field in the second half, won the field position battle. The defense hung in there tough as they have all season, and the offense rewarded them by coming out and being able to put some more points on the board in the second half.
And the Wildcats remain undefeated in region play. The Rebels lose their first game in the region. Oak Ridge wins it 24-21.